Watching any products that rely on the spy espionage genre, I love the amalgamation of rootedness and mass presentation. A creator can blend various elements into the spy espionage genre and introduce relevant themes. Hero worshipping is a very different thing. I'm not talking about that, but having a relevancy to the narrative that makes sense to audience and at the same time holding the quality. That's a very good craftsmanship. And in that field, I think Neeraj Pandey has achieved the expertise. With Baby to Naam Shabana and even A Wednesday, you can notice a certain level of quality he maintained while portraying such things. During the lockdown, I became acquainted with Himmat Singh from Special Ops, and I was truly baffled by the acting and storytelling. The portrayal felt authentic and genuine, standing in stark contrast to the typical caricatures often found in Bollywood. And after 5 years, we have got the continuation sequel of that excellence of Himmat Singh and his team, of course having a backstory with its fractional part. The makers primarily focused on the cyber attack on the financial system by an individual named Collector, and the process of defense that Himmat and his team show with it forms the basic narrative of Neeraj Pandey and Shivam Nair directed, KK Menon, Karan Takar and Tahir Raj Bhasin led spy drama 7-episode series Special Ops Season 2 available on Jio Hotstar. This is Point of View, and I'll be discussing the good, the bad and the verdict in this video so you can make an informed decision about whether this series deserves your time or not. First, let's discuss the letdowns of it. The scriptural context. In the initial minutes of the first episode, the way the makers were portraying the AI was something that we imagined in 2018 or 2020. Like in a very kiddish manner. By the way, they uphold it later pretty well, but the setup was a bit downplayed. The usage of AI generated clips. It's not a harm to use those, but it was on your face. The way they were emphasizing, you will clearly notice rendering issues between the characters and their backgrounds. Now let's come to the good. The quintessence of the first season. When you watch the series, you will feel the gap of 5 years like a snap. How beautifully the makers have maintained the same charm and frequency from the first season. The same way of communication, networking and solving a maze. At least I really feel this way. The dialogues in the communications and the mannerisms of the characters, everything felt like it was just a yesterday thing. I liked the authenticity while watching it. Although the music felt a bit off, it's not that tune heavy, so I neglected that portion. The emotions. As far as I remember, in the first season they barely focused on interpersonal or any individual relations. After its 1.5, they embedded the emotional quotient, which was very natural and stayed for a long time in the screenplay as a conflict with Himmat especially. And that will make you root more for this character. The performances. Again, this season has a very huge ensemble, so I can only mention the absolute highlights. Prakash Raj's character is new here, and initially I thought it would be a side gig, but with the duration, how the narrative emphasized him and how he blends into the screenplay, it was actually awesome. I have seen a glimpse of Naseeruddin Shah from A Wednesday into his character in the very end. Probably Neeraj has deliberately designed it in that way. Karan Takre as Farooq Ali was equally charming from the first season. I think this man deserves more chances to showcase himself, as he delivered as this or SP Amit Lodha in Khaki the Bihar chapter was great, and I really want to see him work more. Tahir Raj Bhasin as Collector was equally good, and I am rooting for this man also. But the way Neeraj has celebrated Ikhlaq Khan's character in the first season as the antagonist will be iconic. Mostly ghosted, but still has that unmatched aura. That performance by Sajjad Delafruz will be untapped. And finally, the OG, KK Menon as Himmat Singh. Outstandingly amazing. You know, I believe when KK Menon is associated with some project, then that can't go wrong. And if he appears on the screen, then he just owns it. There was a scene of a breakdown moment with Himmat with his family, and just a snap, he transformed into his working mode. That's something of a godlike ability he truly knows. The overall show has been mindful of the tonality and emotions it conveys, reflecting quality from every aspect. I believe this will undoubtedly raise expectations for future projects involving big names in the espionage genre. There is more to contribute than just the same India-Pakistan thing. Enough of this milking. People are and will criticize on the basis of this show in future, and that's necessary. So it is a wake-up call for Bollywood to spark some quality. What are your thoughts on this? If you have watched it, please let me know in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram. The handle is pointofview9. Thank you so much for watching. See you at the point of view.